The hour for convening having arrived, all members will please take their seats. The clerk will please ring the bell. We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers will please close the doors and keep them closed. Well, good morning. Speaker Burns and some of our members, including Chairman Petrie and Vice Chair Houston Gaines, and others who were instrumental in the passage of House Bill 1105 last year, were invited to join President Trump today as he signs the Laken Riley Act into law. It will be the first bill President Trump signs during his second term, and we're honored to have Speaker Burns and other representatives from our state join him for this important moment for Georgia and our nation. Our chaplain this morning will be Pastor Julian Pace, and Chairman Hitchens will introduce our pastor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I've been up here a lot of times to introduce preachers before in my career here, but this is the first time I've ever done it to somebody I really didn't know. This was Speaker Jones, Speaker Burns, pastor of the day, and he called me this morning and said, "I'm going to Washington. You're going to introduce my speaker." Now, he grew up in Effingham County, and I immediately recognized his mother when I saw her because her office is in Rankin, but I really didn't know him, and now he's the pastor at Central Alliance Church in Toccoa Falls with really a Mount Airy address, but he's well known across the state. He's done a lot of things. He previously served churches in Rankin and Bloomingdale. He loves to read theology books, play guitar, sing, and walk outdoors. He holds a bachelor's degree in music from Armstrong Atlanta State University, which is now part of Georgia Southern. And he holds a master's degree in biblical studies from Carolina University. He's currently pursuing a doctorate in theology from Evangelical Theology Seminary in Myerstown, Pennsylvania. His wife is Allison, and they have two children, Gabriel and Joshua. If you'd stand up, please. And his mother's also with us here today, Tracy Pace, and something of interest is both his wife and his mother are licensed professional counselors. And his mother, Tracy, is the incoming president of the Georgia Licensed Professional Counselors Association. And something I know about him that he doesn't know that I know is he went to elementary school at Springfield Elementary School. And the assistant principal at that time was Dale Burns. And I think he came into preaching naturally because Dale told me that he was sent to the office at least on one occasion for talking too much. And he said he's had that gift, he's much like Al Williams. He's had that gift most of his life. But I asked her if she paddled him, and she said no, she may have a few years earlier, but that had been outlawed by then. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Pastor Julian Pace.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, legislators, as well as everyone else gathered here today. Let me begin by saying that I feel truly honored and privileged to speak and minister to you this morning in this truly hallowed place. Furthermore, thank you, Speaker Burns, for the invitation to minister here today. Again, I am truly honored. According to the prominent American philosopher and futurist Buckminster Fuller, humanity's knowledge doubled roughly every century prior to the year 1900. By the conclusion of World War II, humanity's knowledge was doubling approximately every 25 years. By the early 1980s, Fuller estimated that humanity's knowledge was doubling roughly every 12 to 13 months. Remarkably, by 2020, some futurists were already speculating that humanity's knowledge would soon double every single day. It is no wonder that our era is routinely referred to as the information age. But perhaps our era should also be referred to as the age of irony. For although we live in an era that is soaked with information and knowledge, we oftentimes find ourselves thirsty for wisdom. If wisdom is defined as knowledge skillfully applied, then the circumstances of our present age strongly suggest that it has become more difficult than ever to skillfully apply the knowledge that we possess. The sheer vastness of humanity's knowledge is quite capable of intimidating and overwhelming us. Conversely, humanity's vast knowledge can also fill us with a spirit of unbridled hubris. Furthermore, as humanity's knowledge base grows, so does our ability to craft powerful new technologies, some of which threaten to warp our perspective on reality. How do we effectively respond to these challenges? Well, perhaps we should look to the ancients for help, as many of them thought deeply about the nature of wisdom and how to acquire it. King Solomon, reputed by some to be the wisest person to ever live, wrote under divine inspiration and now bequeaths to us the book of Proverbs. In Proverbs chapter 9, wisdom is vividly personified as a noble woman who is right in the middle of preparing a great banquet that all the peoples of the earth are invited to. But here at this banquet, it is not literal food and drink that is on the offer. Instead, wisdom offers to all of her guests wise counsel and insight that is far superior to any worldly pleasure. Thus, King Solomon bequeaths to us the hopeful message that wisdom is available to all of us, regardless of who we are. But how might we take wisdom up on her offer? How do we even begin to acquire the wisdom we so desperately need to live and lead effectively in our increasingly complex world? Fortunately, Proverbs chapter 9 gives us a clear answer. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Thus, it is through humility, the clear recognition of our limited knowledge and our shortcomings, that we begin to acquire wisdom. Furthermore, another portion of Scripture promises that if we lack wisdom, God will give us all the wisdom we need, and then some, if we will but ask with a humble heart. Truly, wisdom can be ours if we will but earnestly and humbly pursue it. The historical record also gives us several examples of how humility leads to wisdom and in turn true greatness. Several historians have noted that when George Washington was still a young and inexperienced soldier, he could oftentimes be intemperate and arrogant. It was said that he knew a little too well just how good he looked in uniform. Such a disposition sometimes got him into trouble on the battlefield. But fortunately for us all, Washington eventually learned his lesson and embraced the way of humility over the way of hubris. When he could have been king of the United States, he chose the limited powers of the presidency for a limited time, ultimately distinguishing himself in that role. But no historical figure has better modeled humility and a life wisely lived than Jesus of Nazareth, who, though enduring the humiliation of the cross, also experienced the glories of resurrection. To all those listening today, I implore you to embrace humility, which leads to wisdom and ultimately authentic greatness. And now, let us set aside the next few moments for a time of prayer. Please stand and join me for prayer and the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance. Holy Triune God, empower us all to live humbly and wisely so that we may honor you and bless our neighbors. Give us the wisdom we so desperately need to live and lead well in the complex world in which we live. In Christ's name I pray, amen. Let us say the pledge together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Head this way.
We'll stand right here. Let me just get the doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Members may meet the chaplain in the South Ante room in just a moment. Okay. Our doctor of the day is brought by Representative Mark Newton of the 127th. Dr. Brian Stansfield will be down in the nurses' station if you have need for her. Chair recognizes Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal the previous day and found it to be correct.
Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? The chair hears none. The reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Representative Stration of the 104th moves following be established as the order of business in the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to dispense with the, is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of the business for the day? The chair hears none and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions, the clerk will read.
House Bill 140 by Representative Golden of the 19th, Jenkins of the 136th, Barton of the 5th, Lumsden of the 12th, and Tarvin of the 2nd. Bill being entitled Act to Amend Article 1 of Chapter 81 and Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to local government budgets and audits.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 141 by Representative Moptahan of the 17th, Kelly of the 16th, Ballinger of the 23rd, Cannon of the 172nd, Cox of the 28th, and others. Bill be titled Act to Amend Code Section 481314 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to levy on business or practitioners within location.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 142 by Representative Newton of the 127th, Dickey of the 134th, Williamson of the 112th, Ford of the 170th, Buckner of the 137th. Bill be titled Act to Amend Article 1 of Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to general provisions relative to ad valorem taxation.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 143 by Representative Dickey of the 134th, Smith of the 70th, Yurt of the 152nd, Green of the 154th, Cannon of the 172nd, and others. Bill be titled Act to Amend Chapter 5 of Title 12 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to water resources.
Natural Resources.
House Bill 144 by Representative Newton of the 127th, Hawkins of the 27th, Taylor of the 173rd, Stevens of the 164th, Westbrook of the 163rd, and others. The bill be titled Act to Amend Chapter 7 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to income taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 145 by Representative Silcox of the 53rd, Hilton of the 48th, Jones of the 47th, Stevens of the 164th, Reeves of the 99th. Bill be titled Act to Amend Article 3, Chapter 3 of Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to other state symbols.
Special Rules.
House Bill 146 by Representative Taylor of the 92nd, Hughley of the 141st, Jackson of the 165th, McLean of the 109th, Glaze of the 67th, and others. Bill be titled Act to Amend Chapter 4, Title 1 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to holidays and observances.
Special Rules.
House Bill 147 by Representative Thomas of the 21st, Jones of the 25th, Crowe of the 118th, Gullett of the 19th, Clifton of the 131st, and others. Bill be titled Act to Amend Chapter 25 of Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to Georgia Technology Authority.
Technology and Infrastructure Innovation.
House Bill 148 by Representative Carson of the 46th, Wilkerson of the 38th, Williamson of the 112th, Powell of the 33rd, and Blackman of the 146th. Bill be titled an Act to Amend Chapter 3 of Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to accountants.
Regulated Industries.
House Bill 149 by Representative Barnes of the 86th, Hughley of the 141st, Oliver of the 84th, Iowa of the 50th, Buckner of the 137th, and others. Bill being titled an Act to Amend Chapter 2A of Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to the Department of Public Health.
Public and Community Health.
House Bill 150 by Representative Fleming of the 114th, Gaines of the 120th, Boyard of the 24th, Scoggins of the 14th, Carpenter of the 4th, and others. Bill be titled Act to Amend Part 2 of Article 2, Chapter 3 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to the university system.
Higher Education.
House Bill 151 by Representatives Moptahan of the 17th, Cannon of the 172nd, Hagan of the 156th, Corbett of the 174th, Osteen of the 169th, and others. Bill be titled Act to Amend Chapter 7 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to income taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 152 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Anderson of the 10th, Thomas of the 21st, Okoye of the 102nd, Williams of the 168th, and others. Bill be titled Act to Amend Chapter 4, Title 32 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to state, county, and municipal road systems.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 153 by Representative Camp of the 135th, Kelly of the 16th, Williams of the 148th, Smith of the 138th, Clifton of the 131st, and others. Bill be titled Act to Amend Code Section 48.8.3.2 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to sales and use tax exemptions.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 154 by Representative Richardson to the 125th, Clifton to the 131st, Mathis to the 133rd, Anderson to the 10th, Gunner to the 8th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 11 of Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to emergency medical services.
Health.
House Bill 155 by Representative Anderson to the 10th, LaHoo to the 175th, Cannon to the 172nd, Thomas to the 21st, Cox to the 28th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Article 7 of Chapter 36 of Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to procedure for resolving annexation disputes.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 156 by Representative Jones to the 25th, Thomas to the 21st, Hilton to the 48th, LaHoo to the 175th, and Crow to the 118th. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 6 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to aviation.
Technology and Infrastructure Innovation.
House Bill 157 by Representative Donahue to the 31st, Persinger to the 119th, Gaines to the 120th, and Irwin to the 32nd. Bill be titled Act to amend and Act to provide a new charter for the town of Brazelton.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 158 by Representative Franklin to the 160th, Westbrook of the 163rd, Smith to the 18th, Chokas to the 151st, Stevens to the 164th. Bill be titled an Act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 of Chapter 1 and Title 10 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the registration of businesses.
Agriculture and Consumer Affairs.
House Bill 159 by Representative Crowe of the 118th, Reeves of the 99th, Camp of the 135th, and New of the 40th. Bill be titled an Act to amend Chapter 26 and Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the Georgia Housing and Finance Authority.
Budget and Fiscal Affairs.
House Bill 160 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Huddleston of the 72nd, Howard of the 71st. Bill being titled an Act to amend an Act establishing a city court in the city of Carrollton.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 161 by Representative Crowe of the 118th, Reeves of the 99th, New of the 40th, Camp of the 135th, and Smith of the 18th. Bill be titled an Act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 3 of Title 35 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 162 by Representative Hagan of the 156th, Werkheiser of the 157th, Lever of the 123rd, Reeves of the 99th, Dempsey of the 13th, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Chapter 3 of Title 35 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 163 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Ridley of the 6th, Hagan of the 156th, Carpenter of the 4th, Cox of the 28th, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Article 13 of Chapter 2 of Title 26 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to food service establishments.
Agriculture.
House Resolution 70 by Representative Donahue to the 31st, Irwin to the 32nd, Burns to the 159th, Persinger to the 119th, Seaball to the 34th, and others. A resolution honoring the life of Officer Christopher Lee Roos and dedicating an intersection in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 71 by Representative Griffin of the 149th, a resolution honoring the life and memory of Ms. Latasha R. Butts and dedicating a road in her memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 72 by Representative Hawkins, the 27th, Green of the 154th, Mathiak of the 82nd, Silcox of the 53rd, Dempsey of the 13th. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on Cancer Care Access.
Health.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 119 by Representative Byrd of the 20th, Cahan of the 81st. A bill relating to Brady Law regulations. House Bill 120 by Representative Byrd of the 20th and Cahan of the 81st. A bill relating to preemption of local regulation and lawsuits relative to firearms, ammunition, and other weapons. House Bill 121 by Representative Byrd of the 20th and Cahan of the 81st. A bill relating to dangerous instrumentalities and practices. House Bill 122 by Representative Byrd of the 20th, Horner of the 3rd, Donahue of the 31st, Clark of the 100th, Cahan of the 81st, and others. A bill relating to persons and their rights. House Bill 123 by Representative Werkheiser of the 157th, Reeves of the 99th, Silcox of the 53rd, Holcomb of the 101st, Smith of the 18th, and others. A bill relating to criminal procedure. House Bill 124 by Representative Scoggins of the 14th, Hawkins of the 27th, Hatchett of the 155th, Clark of the 100th, Newton of the 127th, and others. A bill relating to general provisions relative to insurance and state employees' health insurance plan and post-health benefit fund. House Bill 125 by Representative Cameron of the 1st, Crow of the 118th, Reeves of the 99th, and Gullett of the 19th, a bill relating to crimes and offenses. House Bill 126 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, a bill relating to alcoholic beverages. House Bill 127 by Representative Cox of the 28th, Leverett of the 123rd, Bryce of the 139th, Barrett of the 24th, Irwin of the 32nd, a bill relating to sick personal maternity leave for teachers and other school personnel. House Bill 128 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th and Momtahan of the 17th, a bill relating to the Fair Business Practices Act of 1975. House Bill 129 by Representative Cannon of the 172nd, Burchett of the 176th, Dickey of the 134th, Corbett of the 174th, Huddleston of the 72nd, and others. A bill relating to preferential assessment in bona fide conservation use property and bona fide residential transitional property. House Bill 130 by Representative Jaspers of the 11th, Evans of the 57th, Powell of the 33rd, Wilkerson of the 38th, Carpenter of the 4th, and others. A bill relating to the Georgia Student Finance Authority. House Bill 131 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Gunter of the 8th, Leverett of the 123rd, Oliver of the 84th, Holcomb of the 101st, and others. A bill relating to self-service storage facilities. House Bill 132 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Oliver of the 84th, Gullett of the 19th, Leverett of the 123rd, Smith of the 18th, and others. A bill relating to the Council of Municipal Court Judges. House Bill 133 by Representative Clark of the 100th, Hilton of the 48th, Burchett of the 176th, Jackson of the 128th, Gamble of the 15th, and others. A bill relating to compulsory attendance. House Bill 134 by Representative Camp of the 135th, Jasper of the 11th, Burchett of the 176th, Corbett of the 174th, Williams of the 148th, and others. A bill relating to revenue and taxation. House Bill 135 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Hughley of the 141st, Burnell of the 77th, Davis of the 87th, Bell of the 75th, and others. A bill relating to definitions relative to fair housing, general provisions regarding education, general provisions regarding labor and industrial relations, fair employment practices. House Bill 136 by Representative Newton of the 127th, Blackman of the 146th, Rhodes of the 124th, Cox of the 28th, Prince of the 132nd, and others. A bill relating to income taxes. House Bill 137 by Representative Anderson of the 10th, Lumsden of the 12th, Hawkins of the 27th, Yurta of the 152nd, Leverett of the 123rd, and others. A bill relating to contracts for public work. House Bill 138 by Representative Neal of the 79th, Crow of the 118th, Hitchens of the 161st, a bill relating to the powers and duties of the Georgia Peace Officer Standards and Training Council. House Bill 139 by Representative Jones of the 25th, Hawkins of the 27th, Hatchett of the 155th, Cannon of the 172nd, Jackson of the 128th, and others. A bill relating to pharmacies. House Resolution 66 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Huddleston of the 72nd. Resolution recognizing Mr. Mason Mace Aubrey McIntyre II and dedicating a bridge in his memory. House Resolution 67 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Stevens of the 164th, Davis of the 87th, Drenner of the 85th, McLean of the 109th, and others. A resolution supporting Georgia's Clean Energy Transition Workforce Development and Green Job Creation Act by 1950. House Resolution 68 by Representative Glades of the 67th, Dawson of the 65th, Jackson of the 68th, Willis of the 55th, and Schofield of the 63rd. A resolution supporting the revision of the quality basic education and full-time equivalent funding formulas. House Resolution 69 by Representative Barnes of the 86th, Schofield of the 63rd, Clark of the 108th, Huddleston of the 72nd, Cannon of the 58th, and others. A resolution recognizing every third Thursday in April as Biomedical Research Day. Through second readers.
Reports of standing committees. The clerk will read.
Representative Gunner, the 8th District Chairman of the Committee on Judiciary, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Judiciary has had under its consideration following bills in the House. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 36 do pass. House Bill 55 do pass. Respectfully submitted. Representative Gunner of the 8th District Chairman. Representative Cooper of the 45th District, Chairman of the Committee on Public and Community Health, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Public and Community Health has had under its consideration following bill of the House. It's instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 89 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted. Representative Cooper of the 45th District, Chairman. Representative Shaw Blackman of the 146th District, Chairman of the Committee on Ways and Means, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Ways and Means has had under its consideration the following bill of the House. It instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 92 do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted. Representative Shaw Blackman of the 146th District, Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
Chair asks that members take their conversations to the anteroom. We're moving on to morning orders, and there are some important guests in the gallery that members would like to introduce. So please take your seats or take your conversations to the anteroom. The chair recognizes Representative Wade for a morning order. If you have a morning order, if you'll make your way to the front, please. Representative Wade and Representative Chastain.
Good morning, everybody. Colleagues, I'd like to just give a great shout out to some friends from Dawson County, Georgia that are in the gallery. Dawson County Chamber of Commerce sponsors youth leadership programs and adult leadership programs, and we've got both. The class of 2026 here, some fantastic, you guys will stand up and be recognized. We'd like to welcome you to the People's House. And I want to give a special shout out. Miss Mandy jumped through some hurdles to get here today with the adults. She survived Atlanta traffic, and also want to just tell her and this group that the class of 2026 has an opportunity to break records and potentially have the highest graduation rate in our school's history, crossing over 97, 98%. So we're looking forward to the things that that class is going to do. Thank you very much.
Chair recognizes Chairman Meeks for a morning order. All right. Chair recognizes Chairman Hilton for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today, I want to recognize some incredible advocates joining us in the gallery. Many of them are students in Georgia's inclusive post-secondary education programs, which give people with intellectual and developmental disabilities the chance to learn, go to college, do job skills, and are active members of their communities. We have students here today from Georgia State, Georgia Tech, UGA, Kennesaw State, and Berry College. These advocates are here to speak up for people with disabilities who are in workshops and earning less than minimum wage. Please join me in recognizing these incredible advocates up in the gallery. Thank you. Love it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Stevens for a morning order.
Let me invite the Chatham delegation here as well as they make their way down. Today, as you might know, you got a ticket in your packet today. Today is Savannah Day. Every year it's a big year. It's a big day, and a lot of these folks are in the gallery. Why don't y'all stand up so that we can give you an applause? They're trying to make their way through. Some of them are waving. Thank you. Nobody's left in Chatham County. They're all down here at the Capitol today, but I hope you'll make your way from 5 to 7 today for some of the best seafood that you'll ever have, and some barbecue, and lots of people to come down from Savannah. And of course, we've got coastal delegation coming up as well. So I hope you'll join us 5 to 7. If you don't have a ticket, use your badge. That's your ticket to get in, but for your spouse, significant other, come see one of us and we'll make sure you're taken care of. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Au for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, everyone. The AAPI Legislative Caucus is pleased to honor...
The lady will suspend. Let me just get some order. Let's give the lady your attention, please. Thank you.
Pleased to honor a constituent of mine who is in the gallery right now. Mary D'Souza Sequeira is an Indian Olympian and was one of the first women athletes to represent India in the Olympics. Mary competed in the 1952 Olympics in Helsinki in both the 100-meter and 200-meter races. In 1954, Mary competed in the 4 by 100 meter relay of the 1954 Asia Games and became one of the first Indian women to win a gold medal along with her relay teammates. She also set some Indian national records in 1951 and 1957 in the 100 meter and 200 meter races, as well as in the 800 meter hurdles. In 2013, Mary was awarded the Dhyan Chand Award by the Government of India for her lifetime achievements in that sport. It's my honor to represent Mary and her family in House District 50, so let's please give them a warm welcome to the People's House.
Chair recognizes Chairman Mathiak for morning order.
Good morning, Madam Speaker, and thank you so much. Today, it is my pleasure to welcome State Court Judge Jason Thompson from Fayetteville, Georgia. And I'm kind of sad that Representative Bonner's not here today because I know he would welcome you and your 5 interns. And what a great day to have young people in the House to learn how the laws are made. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Whip Burchett and others for a morning order.
Well, there's a couple others. Thank you, Madam Speaker. We've got a distinguished group in the gallery, and we want to recognize the League of Southeastern Credit Unions and the Georgia Credit Union Association. Where are you guys at? Will you stand up and be recognized? That's them up there. We'll recognize these credit unions who represent 2.2 million credit union members in the state of Georgia. Thank you very much. Will Wade's talking to him. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
We're honored this morning to have an invite resolution. And the clerk will read the resolution.
House Resolution 59 by Representative Park of the 107th, Hong of the 103rd, Iowa the 50th, Tran of the 80th, Williams the 168th, and others. A resolution recognizing and celebrating the 20th anniversary of Korean American Day at the state capitol and for other purposes.
Chair recognizes Whip Park to introduce our invited guests.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Happy Lunar New Year. As the longest-serving Asian American in Georgia's history, it is my honor to recognize the 20th anniversary of the federal designation of Korean American Day here in the People's House. We have some special guests with us this morning. First, we have the Korean Consulate General Seo, that represents the bilateral relationship between the Republic of Korea and our great state that's resulted in billions of dollars in foreign direct investment here in the great state of Georgia. As this is the 20th anniversary, we also have with us the children and grandchildren of Korean American leaders who passed away last year. Each of these leaders dedicated more than 20 years of their lives serving their community. First, we have Danny Un, son of Mr. Jae Un, former president of the Korean American Association of Greater Atlanta. Next, we have Kim Yi, the daughter-in-law of Dr. Sam Seok-chung, former president of the Korean American Scholarship Foundation. And lastly, we have Jeffrey Kim, grandson of Dr. Young Kun Kim, founding member of the Korean American Scholarship Fund. We also have with us in the gallery a lot of special guests who are here with us. And last but not least, we have our special speaker, Ms. Sue Ann Hong, President and CEO of the Center for Asian Pacific American Women, to provide us some special remarks. So please join me in welcoming our special guests here in the People's House. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Please give your attention, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just a few remarks here.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. First of all, it is such an honor to be with all of you today. I want to start by thanking Representative Park, Representative Hong, Representative Long, and Representative Au on creating this Korean American Day resolution for Georgia. It's really a special day for us to recognize the contributions of our leaders in our community. I myself, this year is my 50th anniversary being in the United States. Thank you. Thank you. I flew to this country by myself at the age of 8, and I was adopted by my aunt, and she knew that I would have a better life and the American dream in the United States. And believe it or not, going from Seoul, Korea to Hurley, Wisconsin, which is the upper peninsula of Michigan, I was a little shell-shocked culturally when I came here. But I met my aunt in Chicago, and we flew together, and that started a whole new life and a whole new trajectory for this little girl from Korea. Now, one of the things that I was really impressed with these amazing sons and daughters and grandchildren of the honorees, let me share a few things about the contributions. And by the way, Madam Speaker, your office was roaring with laughter and connection while you were here. And we had a wonderful opportunity to learn more. Danny Un, the eldest of 3 boys, he talked about how he learned discipline from his father, Mr. J. Un, and the fact that he really cared deeply about making sure that the Korean American community is uplifted and making sure that we all prospered. Also, Kim Yi, we were talking and laughing about the fact that Danny's principal was actually her mother. So we were making all kinds of wonderful connections. Jeffrey's the grandson, and he talked about how he loved making fire in the woods with his grandfather, and the fact that these are people personalized, and they're very much wonderful human beings. And Sun Kim of Mr. Na Sang Ho, every day, every week, shared food with seniors who were 50 to 70 years old and created his own programs. And after putting my mom in memory care this past weekend, this would have meant so much for her as she keeps going back to her first language, which is Korean. So with that, I want to honor and thank our leaders of our community, the fact that we have all these unsung heroes who are making a difference, and I honor all of you today. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
we have one last morning order that the group was not here, and they have now arrived. Chair recognizes Chairman Meeks for a last morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Joined by Chairman Buddy DeLoach here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have great leaders from all around our state. Today we are pleased to have the 2025 class leadership Wayne with us. If y'all will, please stand, be recognized. Thank y'all for spending the day here at the Capitol and your great leadership back in Jessup and Wayne County.
We're moving on to morning orders, or I'm sorry, afternoon orders. The chair recognizes Chairman Dickey and Meeks for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd also like the members of the LaGrange delegation, if they would come up as well. I want to do a little thing about a friend of mine, a friend of ours for agriculture who passed away last week.
If everyone would stand, please.
I stand well this morning on the passing of Charles Hall of LaGrange. Charles was a devoted husband, father, grandfather, and a friend of agriculture who passed away last week. He's a proud alumnus of UGA, a lifelong Bulldog, served on many committees there as president of UGA CAE Alumni Association Board of Directors. Charles founded his company, Association Services Group, in 1995, which was recognized many times as one of the fastest growing companies in Georgia. Georgia Trend recognized Charles as well. The company has helped many small and large associations be very successful throughout our state and thrive. But Charles really had a heart and loved agriculture. He was known all over the state and the Southeast for bringing ag groups together. And it was Charles's idea to bring a bunch of peach growers, blueberry growers, Vidalia onion growers together under one umbrella, the Southeast Fruit and Vegetable Association, the Georgia Fruit and Vegetable Association, to a large trade show every year in Savannah. And Charles had that brainstorm for that, worked to put it together, plan it for so many years. And but Charles was such a leader for ag issues all over our state in Washington. And he's someone who was they said at his funeral he worked 7 days a week, but he was always at his church in LaGrange, the First Baptist on the square at LaGrange. He was a deacon and a greeter. So if you pause just a moment to recognize the life and the accomplishments of Charles Hall. Thank you very much, madam.
Chair recognizes Representative Al Williams for an afternoon order.
I'm speaking on you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the House, last year when I stood to go over some matters of history and protocol, several of you mentioned that when you were freshmen you were never told, and I've learned this, that those that did not listen, they won't listen, so it doesn't bother me at all. But Jacob shall not lose his reward if Israel does not hear. So we'll just tell it again. When speaking from this well, one must be invited to the well by the speaker and not enter the well until the speaker gives permission. The lights are here for a reason. Green means let it run. Yellow means start the coast. Red means goodbye. That's as simple as I can put it. When someone is speaking from this well, it is never acceptable to walk in front of them. Never acceptable. That is a courtesy of this house. Never. When you're invited and others decide to accompany you, first, you should be approved by the speaker to accompany the person who can give the consent from their podium. Once here, no one should ever stand in front of the speaker who is in the well. Never. Beside only. If you're late, that means you're in the back. It doesn't mean continue to move forward. To the sides and to the rear. It looks bad. There are 180 of us here. And I understand. Some of us could care less because all of us bring here egos. If you didn't have an ego, you wouldn't have run. And sometimes these egos get in the way of the rules. One thing about rules, and I was talking to Bessie this morning, 55 miles per hour on some highways. If you ignore it, so be it. But don't fix the ticket after you get it, because you knew the rules. If you disagree with the rules, this is a democracy, but you must observe the rules. Without rules, chaos. So the rules are for a reason. Try later to change the rules. There is a procedure. And in the minority, that means gain the majority and you'll make the rules. Keep that in mind, Mr. Leader. But it is so important that we demonstrate to this state that because they have sent us here to represent them, let's represent them in an outstanding fashion. Lastly, you've heard me for 10 years, more than 10 years, Representative Kathy Ash taught me how to say the pledge properly. Properly. If you read the Pledge of Allegiance, the comma comes after God, not after nation. It's one nation under God, then you pause. Hey, don't worry about it. They do it wrong at the Super Bowl. But at least let's do it right in the Georgia House. Let's set an example. Let's say the pledge correctly. That's just like making sure the American flag is to the right of the speaker. Do it right. Now, I'll be listening. I know most of you could care less, but I will be listening. Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is to be continued next year. See you then. Thank you.
Hard act to follow. The chair recognizes Representative Tran for a morning or afternoon order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Not sure if I want to follow Representative Al Williams, but Happy New Year's, Happy Lunar New Year's, everyone. Today we will be celebrating Lunar New Year here at the Capitol. There'll be a lion dance at noon. There'll be lunch in 514 CLOB, but it is the year of the snake. And so with this year, the snake brings us vision. So may our chamber see all the problems in Georgia and use the intelligence of the snake to find the solutions to those problems. Madam Speaker, if you will indulge me for just another minute. 2 years ago, I came into this chamber and about 20,000 Ohio State fans descended upon Atlanta, and I didn't know what I was going to do if Ohio State had won and beat UGA. That didn't happen, UGA won. But this past Monday, 20,000 Ohio State fans came once again to feel the great Southern hospitality of Georgia and leave Mercedes-Benz Stadium with a national championship. So I'd like to extend a congratulations to the Ohio State University Buckeyes, the world's deadliest nut, and congratulate them on the national championship. And I know my colleagues will say, go Dogs, coming up in 2025, but for today, I'm going to say, go Bucks, congratulations, OH. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
That concludes afternoon orders. The clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions.
Recognizing and commending Carol H. Burrell. Recognizing and commending Juana P. Alzaga. Recognizing January 28, 2025 as Georgia Limb Loss and Limb Difference Awareness Day at the State Capitol. Recognizing and commending the Georgia Asian American and Pacific Islander Hub. Recognizing and commending Darren McCoy on his outstanding public service. Recognizing and commending Sheriff Ron Freeman. Recognizing February 4, 2025 as Dyslexia Day at the State Capitol, honoring and commending American Heritage Girls, commending and congratulating Colton Sargent, commending and congratulating Melvin G. Dye III, congratulating the Hebron Christian Academy football team for winning the 2024 GHSA Class Private A3A State Football Championship, commending the Georgia Association of Broadcasters and their radio television station members, recognizing January 23rd, 2025 as Doula Day at the State Capitol, recognizing and commending the interfaith organizations and volunteers involved in disaster cleanup efforts, and recognizing and commending Captain Coleman A. Landers. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolution? The chair hears none and the resolutions are adopted. We have a special birthday today. The chair would like to recognize Chairman Darlene Taylor. It is her birthday today. Happy birthday. We can't think of a better way than for you to spend it with us. There are announcements. We have a few announcements. The chair recognizes Leader Illustration for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just a reminder that the committee chairman's lunch is this afternoon. Committee chairman, please be at the lunch this afternoon. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Corbett for an announcement. If you have an announcement, make your way to the front.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Rural Caucus will be meeting at 12 o'clock over in the Ag Building. Lunch will be served. We've got Georgia Forest Association and Farm Bureau is our host today. See you there. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Camp for an announcement.
Thank you. I know we've got a lot of activity going on right now, but if your delegation rules have not been submitted as of yet, they are due tomorrow by close of business to either myself or my policy analyst, Michael Satterfield. He's floating around here now, waving in the back. One important detail I just want to mention, if I may, is that when we look at delegation rules, you can have a lot of different rules in there. What our committee looks at is the number of House signatures required. So please make sure that is in your messaging and clearly states how many House members. We are not concerned how many Senate members because we are not the Senate. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Henderson for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Tuesday, February 4th, World Cancer Prevention Day at the Capitol. In recognition of breast cancer survivors and those that are going through treatment, and prostate cancer survivors and those that are going through treatment. Women, please wear pink. Men, please wear blue. We're raising awareness and encouraging women to get their mammograms, and men, get your PSA test done. No one should face cancer alone. We're all in this together, and we create a support system of love and prayer. Remember, there's no cure for cancer, but early detection saved lives. Early detection saved my life. Again, Tuesday, February 4th, World Cancer Prevention Day at the Capitol. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Lynn Smith for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, everyone. So it's time again for the House Natural Resource and Environment Committee to have its first meeting. We'll meet tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock in room 606 CLOB, and it'll be an overview of all the agencies that report to our committee. Thank you. See you there.
Chair recognizes Chairman Hawkins for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to remind the group that tomorrow is the Georgia Dental Association Law Day here. They will be here at 8 o'clock, probably to about 10 or 10:30. They'll be in room 230. They've got your ties and scarves. So if you want one, show up and say hello to your dentist. Thank you, ma'am.
Chair recognizes Chairman Brad Thomas for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Special Committee on Resource Management will be meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. in 406 CLOB to do some housekeeping and approve of rules. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Anderson for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Governmental Affairs Full Committee will meet today at 3 o'clock in CLOB 606. This is an organizational meeting. We'll be voting on our committee rules. I know there's appropriations subcommittee meetings going on at the same time, so if you can make our meeting, great. If not, spend that money. Thank you.
That concludes our announcements. I'll take photos with our sole page today. If you have the page today, if you will make your way to the front with your page, we'll take a picture. Chair recognizes the majority leader for a motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until 9:30 on Thursday, January 30th, 2025.
On the motion of the majority leader that this House stand adjourned until 9:30 tomorrow, January 30th, all those in favor will say aye. All those opposed will say no. The ayes clearly have it, and the House is adjourned.